What's up, Bolcuts? It's your boy, Mike Carosa. That's right. It's me. I'm back in your ears. This is the only Magic the Gathering podcast that you're listening to right now. Am I the Bolcast? And we've got an interesting development here, which is to say that an episode that I thought was lost is not lost after all. Turns out Ken was able to salvage this episode from about a year and a half ago, maybe longer, where I spoke with Pindursky. So Hugh Pinder, aka Pindursky, a magic artist, who's worked on tons of magic art over the years, including some of the most, like, honestly iconic uh, cards that I could think of. Like, I always love the art of Legion Angel from Zendikar Rising. Like, that's an all timer for me. It's one of my favorites, even though it does not see any play in Commander really. Um, but just to give you an idea, like, he is such a great artist, uses light to fantastic effect. Truly just a very talented person, and I got to talk to him about his art and his trajectory with art and magic, working with magic, how he got to do that, working under one of the most iconic of magic's artists even, and it was really fun. I thought this was lost to time. The file was, I thought, corrupted enough to not be able to release this, and so I'm so stoked that I get to. That said, however, this is kind of back to the way we used to do the podcast, which is like a call-in radio show. So the intro is going to be a little bit odd if you're not used to that. So just a heads up on that front. And we're just going to dive right in. So I'm going to say a couple things about our sponsors, and then you get to listen to Pindursky talk about his art and his journey working for Magic and himself. So, time for sponsor talk. We're sponsored by cardsphere.com. Cardsphere, get your cards here. Use the referral link in the description of the episode, please and thank you. Not to mention, we're also sponsored by boneboxgames.com. Bonebox Games, they make such great deck boxes, and I'm always on the lookout for what they're about to do next. If you ever see them at a con, make sure you go see them. Make sure you go up to them and talk to them. They're such sweet guys. Evan and Jesse, shout out. Lots of love to those dudes. You can use Bolcast at checkout as a promo code, little discount for you. And without further ado, it's time for Pindursky.
All right, caller on the line. Who am I speaking with today?
Hi, Mike. It's my first time calling in. You're talking to, or I guess I am Pindursky. Otherwise,
Pindursky.
Yeah, I go by Hugh Pinder is my real name, but artistically, I guess I go by Pindursky.
Pindursky, the all caps Maverick. Yeah. I love it. So thrilled to chat with you. I'm a big fan of. I want to say your first ever card for Magic is one of my favorite pieces of art in the game, which is Elite Guard Mage, from what I could tell.
Yes.
At the top of the Scryfall in the order of release date. Elite Guard Mage is a card that I make room for, even though there are better options to play because of the art.
Oh, thank you.
That's your impact on me. You make such good art that I sacrifice the functionality of decks. No shade to whoever did Cloud Blazer. I just really love Elite Guard Mage a lot. I think it's beautiful.
Thank you. I was really proud of that one. That one had a lot of, I think, as your first card, you put a lot into that, and there's a lot at stake, or so you think. So you tend to maybe overwork that first one and put a lot of time into it. So that's what happened there.
You put a lot of time, and well, it shows. It's gorgeous. Yeah. It truly is one of my favorite pieces of Magic art. Pindursky, man, what a fun. I'm excited to chat with you. I'm going to be honest. The enigmatic element of just like the mononymic Pindursky at the bottom of a card. When I see that all caps, I'm like, who is this guy? What's his deal? It's so fun to think about. So Hugh,
yes,
Hugh Pinder, aka Pindursky. I hear that you're a Canadian. You're a Canadian artist.
I am. Yeah. Just
oh yeah.
in London, Ontario. So just a couple hours north from Windsor. From Detroit.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're not too far over the border.
Yeah, very close. I mean, I'm over in Montreal. I used to live in Toronto for a while, but I do a couple gigs here and there in London, and it would always be, a nice drive over there, and then you'd get over there and hope for a good show, but not all the time. You wouldn't always get a good show out there.
No.
People prefer the drinking than the listening.
I bet.
I think in London. But Pindursky, I pulled up all of Scryfall, and I don't want to be like surprised, but I want to say you probably have one of the highest hit rates for pieces of art that have arrested me when I've seen them for the first time.
Oh,
I can think of, off the top of my head, I could think of a handful that I just think if I could have it up on my wall, I would. I think I feel that way about Legion Angel from Battle for Zendikar, or Zendikar Rising, rather. Legion Angel, what a beautiful piece. You do so much work.
You know what?
Oh, beautiful.
I think I've been really lucky to have on that set, Dawn Murren was my art director, and she's the one who actually hired me and gave me my first crack into Magic. And so something about Zendikar, when I was first exposed to Magic, it was Zendikar, the original Zendikar. The ideas of floating islands and all that. That was, if I thought of fantasy, that is where my mind went.
Yeah.
So when I was asked to work on that set, I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'm game in.
Yeah.
I think some sets maybe favor maybe an artist's skill set more than others. And this one, there's just something about it. I just really gel with that more so than I think with others.
It's interesting that you say that, because I would say that yes, your artwork is great for Zendikar, but I think of your art as like Therosian, like it's from Theros. I think of some of the hits from Theros, like Sphinx Mindbreaker, or your take on Underworld Dreams, are like some of my favorites. You do a lot of beautiful things with lighting. Like there's a common from Zendikar Rising field research that I remember looking up earlier and thinking, man, this is what a beautiful piece of art. This core ally sitting in the middle of a whirlpool, forcing the pages to float in front of them and taking all they can from it. Just a gorgeous piece of art.
Thank you.
Definitely not a card you see much play. Unfortunately, you see it in limited environments where you crack the packs and you play with what you got.
Yeah.
But my God, what a beautiful piece of art.
Thank you. I think, that's every artist's dream, is hopefully that, they make a card that is popular and well played. And unfortunately, that's not always the case.
It's not.
Sometimes you put a lot into a particular piece and you're like, it's maybe not received well, or it's just not a great card. And you're like, damn it. Oh, well, I got paid for it. But still, I think you want your art to be out there and to be popular and whatnot. So
absolutely. I think there's something to be said for like obviously you want it to be played, you want it to be popular, but then there's like certain cards like Thrill of Possibility, which is one that you've done in All Will Be One. It's had many printings and it is a staple of many formats, and a lot of people play this card. And some people, you get into the territory of like, what's your preferred art? And I always think that it's kind of funny to consider like, oh, are we pitting different styles against each other? But then you see what you've done with Duress and Foundations or Thrill of Possibility. When I think of Thrill of Possibility, I think of your version of it. For most recently, the dueling Nihiris, but like back to back, kind of like the completed Nihiri versus the Nihiri just fighting to get out of it. Really beautiful piece as well. Again, with the lighting that you're able to pull that off. I have no idea how you see what you see and you make it happen. It's my God, what a gift.
You know what? That card was so damn hard.
Tell me about it.
It was just a struggle. So yeah, Dawn Murren gave me that one again. And I don't know, there was just something about that, just with the faces. And I don't think of myself as particularly strong with like abstract conceptual images. I'm more of a, hey, here's a dragon and it's fighting a knight. And that's, I think, more me. So this one being a little bit more, I don't know, symbolic or whatever.
Yes.
It took me a while to this is one I grinded it through. I don't think I ever reached a flow state with this one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I want to talk more about that because, like you mentioned that this wasn't like the others, and you didn't reach a flow state. When you consider a flow state in your work, do you find yourself like you're in the tank for hours at a time? A flow state, is that something that you can kind of jump in and out of? What's your process? How do you work?
Oh, I don't get hours at a time anymore.
That's right. You've got a family.
Yeah, I got a day job, and I got 3 kids, and I got my sports, which I like to do, and then there's the magic art or the freelance illustration, which takes place at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. So that's when I get to do my art. And getting older now, so now I can't work until 2 or 3 in the morning anymore. It just simply cannot happen. So yeah, flow state for me currently, I think it's like I can't wait to get on my artboard and work on this image.
Yeah.
That's like, damn, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it when I get on. I wake up in the morning, like tonight, I get to work on that. Then there's other images.
Yes.
Then there's other images, and you're like, oh my God, I have to work on that image tonight. And it's not that it's not a good image, or it's not, I don't know. It's just, I don't know if this is for other artists as well, or maybe they don't talk about it, but sometimes you just have to grind it through and get it done and put your best into it that you can for that particular image. Mm-hmm. And I believe not everything can be your best work. Otherwise there's never your best work.
Right.
You always want to try and deliver, a certain standard of excellence.
That's right. You want to give them what they're coming to you for.
Yeah, absolutely.
But at a certain, you're also dealing with, like, external inspiration is also another deal. Like you said, I think what you're picking up on is that the element of, I can't wait to work on this tonight, or like you kind of wake up thinking about it. That's a beautiful place to be as an artist. Like, that's, as a comedian, I'll wake up and be like, I'm still thinking about that dumb thought I had as I was drifting asleep. First thing I'm going to do is pull out a notebook and write it down before I let it go. Or, if I'm working on a music commission, I'll be like, well, they're asking me to get this done. I'm going to get it done. But sometimes you get to work on something where you're like, I can't stop thinking about this. I'm so excited about this. That's a beautiful feeling. Yeah. That's a fun one.
I agree.
It's a really good place to be.
And yeah, when you're in that flow state, I mean, there's really nothing like it. I mean, you can be so productive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's not even so much maybe that you get so much done. It's really the fact that you're loving what you're doing.
Yes.
As opposed to, plodding through something and it's not going well, and you're not liking the way something is turning out, and you're fighting with it and having to go back and shoot some more or find more reference and rework, maybe rework a thumbnail that's been approved because it looked good at thumbnail, but then you're working on it, you're like, holy what was I thinking? I should have spent more time on this thumbnail and worked some of these issues out. So I've been on that end maybe too many times that
where you thought that the thumbnail was okay, I can work with this, and then you expand it, you're like,
okay. and then you get into the final image and like, damn it, I thought I would have learned my lesson, but here I am the 50th time and maybe not. So
I mean, I'll say, like, so the way it is interesting to me, because oftentimes when you're talking about a thumbnail, you're talking about like a smaller version of the card. So you have the art that ends up the size of a thumbnail anyway.
Yep.
And you're thinking like, okay, when it's time to expand it, it's just not enough. I got to rework some things. It's an interesting perspective to think of, because I always think, if I would assume that the artist would have a more difficult time with being happy with the thumbnail versus the larger painting,
Well, yeah, certainly. I think the thumbnails are sometimes, they kind of come out of nowhere, right? I mean, you're given your art brief, and then based on your knowledge and where your mind goes, you're able to maybe see an image in your mind, or through whatever process works for that artist, whether it's just sitting down and just sketching out ideas, and then interjecting reference at whatever point, and then maybe things come together. Maybe they don't. Maybe they come together within 5 sketches. Maybe it's your first sketch, or maybe, a couple of days later, like it's still not working, or maybe I don't think it's cool enough to make for a good card.
I hear you.
And so the thumbnails, I think I'm most nervous when I submit thumbnails.
Okay.
There have been a couple of times where like, I believe in this thumbnail so much, I'm only sending one. I'm not going to send in a bunch because I love this one so much that I really believe in it. So I only send in one.
The strong feeling of believing in a piece. What is one of the cards or one of the pieces that you've done that you're like, you were the most sure of? Can you think of a time where you were like, this is the one, this one right here?
I think I'm scrolling through my images here too.
Yeah.
I know there've been images where I'm like, I really wish I would pick this one, but it's been in a case where I've provided two options and I'm really rooting for A and then they choose B. That happens, I think, to everyone.
Totally.
But I think the one I was most sure of was actually the only digital one only that I've ever done, which was Tybalt Wicked Tormentor.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, that's the one that's only arena only. Yeah. That's what you mean by the only digital one you've done is the one that's not available as a card. Yeah. I mean, that is very fun. See, this is fun too because this is a piece that I don't play arena or alchemy really, so I don't really see this art, and so this is new to me, and it's very fun. Extremely chaotic. It's capturing the exact vibe that Tybalt gives off.
It's the one card. It's one of the main cards that I can think about where I hit my thumbnail, and then I was able to work seamlessly from thumbnail to drawing to line art to color, and there was no fighting it. The entire thing just came together.
There was no fighting.
That rarely happens.
Love that.
That rarely happens.
Oh,
at least for me.
That's a texture thing right there to me. Right? That's itching my brain in a place I love. That's very fun. There was no fighting with it. It was. Ooh, the art was collaborating with you at this point. It wanted to work.
It was.
That's so sick.
It wanted to be painted, apparently.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. That's so fun.
Yeah.
I live for that stuff. Speaking to any artist of any kind, finding like a moment in their work where you're thinking, ooh, when's the closest you've been to being one with your work? And I think that's you describing that as like, that's so fun. I love that. What an amazing, it's juicing me up. It makes me want to do something creative.
There you go.
The idea that it's possible. You're like, hell yeah. When I do comedy, it's kind of like you come up with an idea and then the next night you go out to a show and you try it out in front of people and you know right away whether or not it's going to work or something.
You know pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been fortunate to not have any pieces go into the slush pile, which apparently I think is what it's called.
Yeah, where they've got all that art that they're sitting on because it didn't work with the mechanic anymore. Something's a little off, and they use it for key art or something.
Yeah, there was a piece that I didn't see for a long time. Then all of a sudden it came out. I don't remember which one it is off the top of my head, but I'm like, okay, oh yeah, I remember doing that. It was like 3 years later. It was a little weird.
That's interesting. So Hugh, you've been an artist for I have to assume with this level of talent, you've been doing this for a long time.
I think maybe this is maybe my most. If I'm ever going to be interviewed, I think it's maybe on how I got started in art. I think that's maybe what I have most to say about. Let me just give you the high level view. So
hit it.
Yeah, grew up only child. We moved around a lot. I won't get into specifics, but I know between grade 7 and grade 10, it was like 12 different schools. And some of them were, one of the schools was in the southern US, grade 7, way out of my element. Thankfully, that only lasted 2 weeks. And then, so it was interesting. So I managed to like bury myself just in drawing, just finding a piece of paper, just sketching, and not having any friends in a school. During my lunch, I would beeline it to the library or to wherever, and then just head down, just drawing whatever I wanted to. That's really how, when I look back at my childhood and even high school years, for the most part, I was pretty comfortable doing that, just being by myself, just drawing and whatever. So out of out of high school, I decided to pursue graphic design instead of anything with art. And then when I was 35, after being a graphic designer for 15 years at that point or whatever, I'm like, I can't see myself doing this and retiring when I'm 60. I can't see myself doing logos. So I was 35 when I decided to pick up the pencil again and start drawing.
Gorgeous.
And how do you do that at 35? I mean, I was an okay artist in high school. I mean, I was good for a high school student. I mean, I was one of the better artists in my high school at the time. But thinking back, no better than the billion other people who are out there, in my opinion.
Which is fair. You're a young artist. You're still getting your footing.
What do you know? I mean, you're good for
you're a high school.
You're good
kid.
for high school. That doesn't mean anything.
There we go. But that it does mean something. There's like a promise of potential. There's like a spark of some kind, right?
There's something there. There's something.
Exactly. Yeah.
And maybe I'm being a bit harsh on myself, but when I think back, that's just how I view it. So when I was 35, I was like, I want to be a concept artist. That sounds really cool. Not really knowing what a concept artist does. There was a site back at the time called conceptart.org, and it was this great community of artists and illustrators. And, back in the day when forums were a thing and you posted and you collaborated and you talked back and forth, none of this social media that we have right now. I really
even
felt
the stuff that's ruining countries right now. The stuff that's really
there. Yeah. So there were a lot of really super talented artists back in the day when conceptart.org was a thing, who handed out great advice or did paint overs. And they really were, I think, cornerstones or foundational to like early growth. I mean, without these people, you don't know what you don't know, right? And so they take time out of their day to give you a paint over or to explain something, and you're like, oh, that makes sense. So as a self-taught artist, you're like, holy shit. I mean, all of a sudden, I apply what they're telling me, and things are starting to look a little better. And I think, over some time, I mean, I worked really. I don't like to swear a lot, but I worked really. Really hard.
We bleep it out. We get our editor Ken to bleep it, so we go, "Sorry, Ken," after swearing, which he's got a couple in there for you. But you did work really hard. We could get a couple bleeps in.
Okay, so I was 35, no kids, just a job. I woke up. I'm not lying. For 3 years, I woke up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Did art from that time till I started at 8 o'clock. And then I did art again from the time I got home, maybe around 8 o'clock at night until 12 o'clock. And so I lived for 3 years on like 3-4 hours sleep, except for weekends.
That's
weekends.
Bad.
Now, let me say, I was motivated. When you're motivated,
for sure,
you will do anything, right? And yes. I was so motivated. There was a speech, a motivational speech. Hey, I'm a kid of the 80s. There was a speech by Arnold Schwarzenegger when he talked about motivation. And he had said something to the effect of, you want to accomplish more, sleep less. You have so many hours a day, just make more hours for yourself. I'm not doing that speech any justice, but for whatever reason, that crystallized and resonated with me. I'm like, you know what? I can do this. I can get by on this amount of sleep. And when you're motivated, you're like, I cannot wait to get up in the morning again. I go to bed thinking about the piece you're working on or whatever study you're doing. And so I worked really hard and I saw growth pretty quickly.
I would hope so.
I mean, I also realized, hey, I don't know what I don't know, and I can't do this all by myself. So wherever I was able, I sought out mentorships online through Patreon, or if I heard of a course, or if I could take some sort of buy a course on lighting or anatomy, trial and error, see what works for you. I did all those things. And eventually, after about 4 years of grinding hard, where I reached my breaking point, or whatever you want to call it, was I did this online course at Smarter Art School with Donato Giancola.
Ooh, and, a real master, that one.
I learned so much. I mean, he made me, he is so gracious. I have nothing but positive things to say. So gracious. And seeing him, me spending 3 hours on this thumbnail, and then him in 10 seconds, correcting simply what I couldn't see, because again, you don't know what you don't know. You're like, oh,
right.
That makes so much sense. And so after taking his course, Dawn Murren was the guest, and she saw my portfolio and she hired me on the spot. And then my first card was Elite Guard Mage. So that's kind of the high level overview of kind of how I got started.
That's how you got in. It's fun as hell to find out you're taking this course with Donato, of all people to be like, oh, we're gonna name check somebody. Donato Giancola, truly one of the most influential artists in the visual language of Magic the Gathering. Magic was shaped by his ability to make humans feel human on a card like that. He really brought that to it early on. Wow. It makes sense, because like looking at your stuff, you man, you are nailing it. I'm realizing some of these are you, and I didn't notice they were you. Sculptor of Winter, for example.
Okay.
What a piece. You see, I have no idea how you do this. To me, it feels like, as somebody who like I guess I'm a little colorblind, and I don't really know how to put my motor functions to put what I can imagine up here, but my imagination isn't so strong that I could put something like this together myself. But I have no idea.
I have a fun story about that one. So Sculptor of Winter.
Yes.
It was 5 a.m. at a gym. I was training for an Ironman. I'm in the middle of a 4-hour ride on a trainer in a gym.
Jeez.
And I know I'm working on this Sculptor of Winter card. And when when I do these long training sessions, when I'm on a bike or I'm out for a run, especially back then, a little harder now, because now I think about kids and stuff and whatnot. But I would just play this image over in my head. And then I remember the art brief. The art brief actually called for someone of Asian descent. And I looked over, and over on the squat rack was this really fit Asian girl. Now I'm 38 at this point, 39. And this girl is a young 20-something college student. I just got up off my bike, walked over to her, and said, "Hey, I'm a fantasy illustrator." I had my phone with me, and I pulled up my portfolio, and I'm doing a Magic card, and you would fit to the T this character that I need to paint. And then she dropped the weights. She looked at me. She rolled up her sleeve on her arm and pointed to this tattoo on her arm, which happened to be the Tri-Stone Force from Legend of Zelda. And she's like, I'm a huge gamer. I would love to do this, blah, blah, blah. So random weird person. Just.
That is a fun part of the artist experience that you don't hear much of. Is like, oh yeah, where am I going to get this reference from? I'm at the gym now. Let's see.
Yeah. So I actually did that a couple of times, just talking to complete strangers. I thought, I think you would fit this. And I found a couple models that way.
Totally. I mean, now I'm trying to guess which one of these did you ask to help with, like, get these references from. I want to say Midnight Pathlighter might be one of them, if I had to guess. Maybe you got somebody to help you with that. That was you?
That was me. Yeah. I made a little maquette for that one, and I built him out of plasticine, and I put a little those little glow light that you can buy online. Like, they're so tiny, and I just stuck it in this little maquette's hand, and I sculpted all the drapery and all that kind of stuff, and that gave me some of the information for the lighting there. So,
I mean, I mean, the stuff you have to do just to get this like just right, and it gets down to this tiny size on the card, and yet it's just so good.
You know what though? I'm going to be honest here, but you know what really makes me jealous?
Tell me.
Is the artist who, like, I'm going to butcher his name, but he's one of my all-time favorites. Siddharth Chakravarti.
I'm going to guess that's how you say it too.
His ability to paint minimally with just the amount of information so that it looks majestic at card size. And you blow it up and it still looks awesome, right? But you look at it big and it's like, oh, okay, he didn't over detail this thing because he painted it so that it really works amazingly at card size. Those are the guys that I'm like, holy shit, that's what I wish I could do. But no, I got to get in there and I got to detail. Got to get in there with the smallest brush and detail stuff. But yeah, those guys with the confidence to lay down the bold strokes and just let it lie. Those are the guys who are my heroes.
I love hearing about the magic artists that magic artists look up to or appreciate. And so I'm glad that was one of my questions. So Siddharth Chakravarti is the one that you mentioned here. I did want to ask a couple more questions for you, and then
sure.
I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I'll talk to you for as long as you want. I really I am enjoying this. This is a lot of fun for me.
Good. Me too.
So Pindursky, and this is I'm putting you on the spot here, and you have your Scryfall pulled up. Your favorite Magic the Gathering pieces of what's printed at the moment. What if you could do a top 3 or a 5? If you're feeling like I can pick 5 is a little easier. If it's harder, go with 3. If it's easier, whatever you prefer. Hit me with.
Are we talking my own pieces?
Your own pieces, yeah.
Oh, okay. So definitely, I love Mutual Destruction.
Yes, excellent.
That's me. If you encompass what I could paint, that's me. I don't know.
Yeah,
something about Mutual Destruction. I'm like, yep, love that one.
One of the standout pieces of like a limited common card that you're only really going to see in like in a draft format where people are like cracking packs and then they use it there. So it's like not one that you see played a lot, but when that is a card you open, you go, what is this? This looks so cool. This is one of the ones that I'm talking about. There's momentum to it. You see the action happening. You can picture where the direction is going. You can feel it almost moving. The details of like the multiple skeletons in the mouth of a beast with all these trinkets at the bottom on the tongue or something. It's just great. Yeah, that's a standout for sure.
Yeah, so that one's one of my favorites. Then Underworld Dreams.
Yes.
That was good. Legion Angel would be number 3.
Yes. I would have been shocked if that's not in your own top. It's one of my favorite. It comes up as one of my top pieces whenever discussing art. Legion Angel is one of my top Magic pieces, full stop, period. And it's also one that upsets me because it's not on a card that I want to play.
Well, I'm honored. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Number 4 would be the first iteration of Angelic Quartermaster.
So when you say the first iteration,
yeah. So I guess in this case, I am the bolus about this. I am my own worst enemy.
Hit me with it. Okay.
Because sometimes I don't read a brief as well as maybe I should have.
I see.
Or understand maybe the context of the card or the color of the card. You would think you would figure it out, but clearly I don't sometimes. So there is a daylight version of this card. It's not at night. It's during the day with sunbeams coming behind this angel. It's on my art station. And I had so much fun painting that, especially the little people down at the bottom. They came together so easily and I loved it. And then it came back and like, yeah, we need you to change this to a night scene. I'm like,
yeah,
you're right. It should have been a night scene because it was Innistrad.
Yep. In the middle of
yeah. Why didn't I clue in? Why why didn't I realize this when I was spending 40 hours on this image? Like, oh my God, am I so stupid? So yeah, so that would have been my number 4. I still like it as the blue piece, as the night scene, but I don't think it carries the same visual.
I'm looking at the one that you're talking about, and I gotta say that it does make a ton of difference. It definitely feels more like a white card even, but again, Innistrad does have like the muted, like it Innistrad at that, especially in those sets, are like, it is not perpetual night per se, but it's definitely super nighttime.
So I screwed that one up. So then my number 5.
Okay.
My number 5 card
with a bullet.
I think it's got to be the one I had one of the most fun doing, which was probably be the Herald of Eternal Dawn, which I think was my newest one.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just love painting the angels. So this one was just so much fun, and I think maybe this one is also sentimental because this was the last piece that Dawn Murren commissioned me to do before she retired. So there's kind of a bookend there for me.
That's really sweet.
Yeah. So I don't know, sentimental in my old age. I don't know, but yeah, this one was a pleasure to work on. So,
I mean, I remember seeing this piece and being like, "This is super striking." It's this one and the Zul Ashur piece that you have as like the extended art versions of cards and foundations that are both that I remember seeing both versions and going, well, clearly the extended art is incredible, and that's what I want when I'm playing this card.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, Herald of Eternal Dawn. So you said it was one of the most fun ones for you to do.
Yeah, so the art brief for this one was an angel on a floating throne with a portal behind its head. I'm like, a portal? How the hell am I going to do that? A portal into what? And so I saw these aerial views of clouds, and they were coming in on themselves. I'm like, that might work. That could be kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm seeing it now. I understand what you were. Okay.
Yeah, so it's just sort of like, these clouds that are bending around her head, and it's kind of otherworldly and whatnot. So it took a while for my brain to come around to that solution, but I was really happy with it once I did. So
of course, I mean, if I made this, I wouldn't shut up about it. I mean, again, I have no idea how you do this. I am impressed and jealous, and I'm very grateful that you're doing it. And I can't believe you spent 3 hours a day sleeping.
Yeah, those days are long and gone. That seems to be, when I think about that, that's a different life. I almost don't even recognize that person anymore, but I guess that's what got me here. So
that's what got you here. From Elite Guard Mage up to Herald of Eternal Dawn, and here's to many, many more. Pindursky, thanks for chatting with me today, buddy. I really appreciate that. Before we go, I have to ask, is there anything that, because this is a little bit longer of a conversation, we might have to trim some stuff down, but I do have to ask like a bit of a bolus question. You already covered something. We already like have like a moment where you're like, I was the bolus here because I messed up the brief. But do you have any experience with like, because I know you haven't traveled to do any Magic cons, or you haven't done any of the conventions to showcase your art, right? When we've spoken online, right, set this up. Is there anything like, have you been reached out to? Has anything come up where you're like, I would rather people didn't ask me this? Or do you have like any pet peeve as a Magic the Gathering artist?
I don't think I have that many. I try to be really, really gracious to people. When I think back to when I first started, I reached out as a young, experienced artist to very talented artists who are very gracious with their time and knowledge, and gave me more than I ever deserved. So, especially when fans ask me for card signings, more often than not, I'll just do them for free.
Very sweet of you.
But there hasn't been too many that I've turned down. I don't know. Hopefully you can edit this because I'm rambling here.
Yeah, well, we got you covered by our own Ontario sweetie pie, Ken, who's our editor. So he'll take care of this with us for sure.
Oh, I'm just really my own worst enemy. I really am. Either it's taking on too many commissions, and then feeling like scrambled for time. I think that is probably where I am the bolus. Is when I take on too much work, given how much time I realistically can invest into this kind of like cool hobby that I have. When I think of myself, I don't think of myself as a professional illustrator. I think of myself as a pretty decent hobby artist who happens to work on some really cool stuff. There are professional illustrators out there who I look up to. I don't know if I can call myself one, and I'm not trying to be.
I get what you're saying, but I gotta tell you, there's a lot of especially. I mean, speaking from my perspective as a comedian, when somebody calls themselves a hobbyist, they very exceedingly rarely, if ever, have the talent that you exhibit for the art that they're a hobbyist in. I say, if you're a hobbyist and not, that's crazy.
Maybe.
That's wild to me that you're like, I wouldn't consider myself. You are. You've got, what is it? How many cards do you have to your name that are out right now? If we get rid of those 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we've got like 40 cards plus or minus a couple tokens. That's a nice portfolio from Magic alone. That's a professional artist right there.
Sure. I suppose the talent is a sliding scale, right? And you can look at the others at the pointy end. I suppose it's like anything, whether it's sport or whatever. You are where you are, and there's people above you, below you, and maybe my personal damage is that I'm looking at these people way up there. I'm like, damn, those guys and girls can really pull off some crazy stuff.
Yeah. Meanwhile, people are looking at igneous inspiration and being like, "How does he do this?"
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Like, even when it comes to there's a lot of cards. Unfortunately, fortunately, unfortunately, Magic just puts out so much stuff. There's so many cards constantly, and so you get so many cards that are just playable in varying degrees, and some cards are relegated to just being good in their limited environment, which is to say in the set that they're printed in, and some even not that. But at the very least, you get to be like, well, what are they trying here mechanically? And let me get a look at this piece of art that I now own, right? And I think that it's, you've got an output of stuff that I look at and I go, I just want to include this. This is a good card. I'm going to play it. But then sometimes I'm like, this is a beautiful piece of art and I want to find a place for it. And I think that's a relationship that you have with people who play the game, whether you know it or not.
No, I think I appreciate that. And I accept the compliment wholeheartedly.
Good. Yeah, I warned you that I'd be very gushy. When I'm a fan of somebody's work, it's hard not to bring it up constantly because it's like, how often is this going to happen? I'm going to talk to you face to face like this and be like, hey, by the way, I had this piece that you probably don't think of from 6-7 years ago that you did. Well, I think about it all the time. I play it every time I play this deck or something or other. It's just like it's just fun to think about the fact that your artwork is like you're done with it, you put it out there, and somebody now has it, and they have a relationship with what you have created. Yeah,
I think one of the things, I don't know, as an artist, maybe some cards more than others, but you put a lot of yourself into that particular illustration, and you're doing it in some ways for yourself. It's like, this is what I want to do for this image. And then I don't always necessarily think about once it's out there, once it's out there, like, I don't know, I think I forget about it a lot, or always. And then it's not until somebody, drags it out from the records of the internet, like, hey, you did this. I'm like, oh, I did. I did do that.
I do remember it. I didn't realize it was out there already.
Yeah, for me, it's like I don't know. I just unless I'm on my art station or looking through something, I don't necessarily look back at my work. So
yeah,
it's cool when it brought up.
Well, I hope you had a good time chatting with me, man. I had a really nice time. This is definitely bringing a lot more color to the already colorful work that you've done, and I really it broadens your appreciation for this hobby. Like, this is my hobby, right? I love playing Magic the Gathering. It's been a game that I've played since I was 9 years old, and that's, how I made friends. It was how we ended up, it was the excuse to hang out with some people, and then it became a thing you kind of let go and you come back to. It's a thing that I love a lot and that I invest a lot of time into. And I just think that when it comes to appreciating something that you've played for so long and finding new ways to look at these game pieces and go, this enriches my experience, that's always fun. So now whenever I see another card come out and I see that little paintbrush icon and it says Pindursky in all caps next to it, I'll be able to say, that's Hugh out in London, Ontario.
There you go.
Just wait until 9:30 to start working on this dragon.
It's 10 o'clock. Now I get to start working.
Hey, there we go. I appreciate you calling in, Hugh. I think we're going to take it over to Morgan and we're just going to have a nice chat. I don't know how much bolus conversation we can have because you're just not the bolus at all. I don't think that there's any reason to call you one. We're going to head over to Morgan. All right. Thank you, Hugh.
Thank you.